Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. September 2nd. It is not in my reality that it's September, but hey, what are you going to do? Togas, what's happening? Down in the Mud. Someone called Down in the Mud is in here. I suppose they're at Burning Man right now. Ted looks at life. What's happening, sir? How's life looking? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Saturday Night Fever. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was working on getting some merch going, but Printful decided to just crap the bed. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I like taters. Taters tasty. All right, just missed the end of my movie to watch real stuff. Sorry about that. Oh, so guys, what are we gonna do with you? All right, got some more U.S. Open on. Welcome everybody. It's AI Learning Lab. We'll wait for some. Join the irregular Discord. Very cool. We'll talk about that. Happy Saturday night. Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll get started here. We will talk about AI and where to get started, and we'll answer questions. I actually had an idea about how to balance things a bit more between showing stuff and answering questions. Although it's a little tough to show stuff clearly, but I got some ideas. We'll experiment tonight. See if we can get some more people in here. If you'd be willing, go ahead and share the live, and we'll see if we can get some more folks in here, and then we'll get started. Fantastic, Bob. Tell him what he's won. Well, you haven't really won anything tonight, sir. You haven't even gotten started. You didn't play the game. You got to play the game to win the game, and you haven't started playing the game, so how are you going to win anything, huh? You know, life's not just a cakewalk. You got to do some work in this world. All right? All right. Fantastic. All right. Got 17 folks in here. TikTok is slow rolling the live tonight. When can I play a whole D&D campaign with AI? Pretty sure you can do it right now, Spore Cloud. Especially with... have you tried it with Claude, Claude.ai? Because Claude's got a 75,000 token context window. So if you tell Claude to act like a D&D dungeon master and which edition you want it to use, which rule set, I don't know if it can do the whole campaign, but it could probably get pretty close, because with a 75,000, or it's 100,000 tokens, it's about 75,000 words. You know, like a 50,000 word novel, you can just paste right into Claude and it can ingest the whole thing. Yeah, 100K, but about 75,000 words. Yeah, try that, Spore Cloud. That could work. And check this out. I did this the other day. Where did I... I had ChatGPT come up with different pictures and locations, and then had it write. So what was cool about this project, so I went into Claude and I had Claude, hey Ion China, I had Claude, thank you for the rose. I found an article on SDXL. So someone had written a blog post, a decently long article on Stable Diffusion's SDXL's model and what the different, sort of attributes are. And so I put the article into Claude, and started asking it questions about it. And then I thought, oh, maybe I could have it make me a set of prompts based on that. And then I said, well, why don't I come up with a category? And I had it come up with 4 categories and do some prompts for each of the categories. And one of the categories was fantasy. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. And so I had it generate, a name. Let's see, let me make this a little bit smaller. Had it generate a title like Dwarven Cleric, a name, Brother Ironbeard, and then a prompt, and then optional elements. And then I literally just, with the prompt, I had it also give me an aspect ratio. Like, depending on what you prompt, make it either portrait or landscape, depending on, what you do. And then it gave me 4 different categories. So these are the characters. Let's see. And I mean, they came out good. They came out really good. And then here are the creatures. Nice little unicorn, mermaid, giant, baby dragon. What's that thing? A displacer beast, that cat-looking thing. Little dragon fairy. And then here's the landscapes. Serene Springs. That thing's cool. So, and this was, I mean, what's cool about this, what took me the longest to do was copy and paste the prompts into, and then here are the structures. Copy and paste the prompts into Midjourney, and then curate the best ones out, right? And sometimes I would do 3 or 4 different renders. Like this ship was hard. They were close, but they didn't quite capture. Like the prompt says tattered sails, and this was the one that had the most tattered sails. It wasn't quite the sexiest ship, but it looked good. So, look at that thing. So this was it's just like a whole world of, artwork and things like that. So you could probably do some really interesting things playing with that. All right, how many folks are in here? We've got a few folks in here. Welcome, everybody. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. Let's get started here. So, how I like to start out these little evenings, happy Saturday night, by the way, is if you're new to this stuff and you're like, where do I start? But where do I start, Kyle? I don't know where to start. Where to start is this top one. Chat.openai.com. So that is the official ChatGPT website. What's going on? I wonder if my cameras are dirty. I think my cameras might be dirty, but whatever. That's the official ChatGPT website. These 3 are kind of the top 3 that I play with. I bounce in between them. Last night, Bard was at the kiddie table, and I moved Bard up to the top 3 because Bing is just really annoying with how much safety stuff it's got on it. So that's ChatGPT. Claude is the one I just talked about with the D&D thing where it's got 100,000 token context window. And then Bard is Google's entry into this space. It's connected to the internet. They incorporate internet links in a pretty sophisticated way. And it's not horrible. And apparently this fall they're going to be releasing Gemini, which is supposed to be amazing. They claim it's going to be 5 times better than GPT-4. I will believe that when I see it. But they do have a lot of data, so it's possible that they did some kick-ass training. So that's that stuff. Okay, other things to play with. Bing, like I said, it's a bit of its safety guardrails are a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is connected to the internet. You can likely use it within a business. It can generate images. You just say, create an image of X, and it will do it. It can read images. You can upload an image to it and tell it to describe it to you, and it will. Perplexity.ai is a good research tool. Labs.perplexity.ai is them hosting Meta's Llama 2 models for free, and their Code Llama model, which is sort of a fine-tuned version sitting on top of it that's really good at coding. Pi.ai is fascinating. We here at the lab have nicknamed it Chatty GPT. So go to pi.ai or go get the Pi app. So just look for PI and then personal assistant, and you'll find the app. The company is Inflection. Put it into voice mode and start talking to it. If you want to actually get work done like you do with ChatGPT, Pi's not your answer. But if you want to talk to one of these models and kind of get a sense of what the future's like, that's what that is. And then Poe.com is another one to play with that I think is at least worth it. At least worth exploring. Good Lord, the tongue ain't working tonight. What is with the tongue? What is going on? Okay, now you're saying, but Kyle, all those are just the words, and I'm not good with words. I don't like words. Words. Everyone's talking about words all the time. I like pretty pictures. Where are the pretty pictures, Kyle? Here you go. Here you go right here. These are the ones I would recommend playing with right now. The best one is Midjourney. However, it doesn't do words. Ideogram is like 7 days old, 8 days old, and it does words. Really interesting technology. In fact, that image and those words were made with ideogram. So, pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Well, that's pretty cool, Kyle. I didn't know it could do that. Oh, yeah, it can do that. What else? Leonardo and ClipDrop are sitting on top of Stable Diffusion, which is another interesting tool. If you're geeky, go play with Automatic 1111, but these are two non-geeky tools you can play with. And then Prompt Book, that will teach you all of the shit that these things know, and they know a lot, and it'll teach you how to talk to them. It's designed for Stable Diffusion, but it's good for all of them. Okay, now, Lunastick, what's happening? Howdy, hey. OpenArt.a/promptbook. I'd said that. Futurepedia is a big directory of services, AI software, basically. So if I don't know something, I just generally point people to Futurepedia, and you can go find something there. All right, so the other thing we do here is I do my best to answer questions, so pop the questions down below. I can also demo stuff. What I was thinking I would do tonight is I'll start answering some questions, and then at some point, if it's just getting a little too chatty and we haven't done anything, I'll just jump to the bottom and ask you, is there anything you want to see? And then I'll show you, if I know how to do it, I'll show you something. I'll demo something, all right? And what else? What else do we do here? I like to do silly voices. Sometimes I do silly voices. It's like Saturday Night Live without the talent. You see what I'm saying? It's like comedy without the laughter. Very, very similar, all right? So we do that. Life's tough. It's tougher when you're stupid. Anyway, listen. So I talk dumb, and then I talk smart, and then I talk dumb, and then I talk smart. And depending on when you come in, you might think, he's just a dum-dum. And that's generally pretty accurate. And then you might come in and you might go, it's called AI Learning Lab. What am I learning here? I don't know. What do you want to learn? Put it in the comments. Or you might come in here and say, what are your qualifications, sir? Who are you? What is this all about? I don't have to answer to you. I don't. Why are you being so demanding? I'm just an old man on TikTok. Just an old man on TikTok. TikTok. See what I'm saying? Sometimes I cuss. If you don't like the cussing, I would go. Some very uptight man probably lived in, a nice neighborhood, told me that my cussing was tacky. So apparently I'm tacky too. I'm tacky. Other people say I look like Rosie O'Donnell. So if you like that, if you like Rosie O'Donnell, here I am for you. All right. So we're going to get started now or what? All right. Enough comedy jokes. Let's get started. Come on down from the back. All right. Ted joined the Discord. Oh, that's the other thing. If you are interested in joining a community of like-minded people, like-minded like how? Like dum-dums? No, people into generative AI and exploring it and getting curious with it. I created a group last December called the AI Salon. We meet every other week. in person here in Denver and online. And that's a link tree that's got a link to kind of our mission statement and our values, to our meetup where you can sign up to get notifications about the meetings, and to our Discord where you can go, play with Midjourney and ask questions and do show and tell and all sorts of shit like that. So feel free to explore that group. All right, folks, let's get started. Let's get this show on the road. All right. We did the whole D&D campaign. Kavruno, what's happening? Dino. When will ABI used in Minecraft mods? I'm pretty sure it's already being used in Minecraft mods, isn't it? Minecraft AI. AI can now play Minecraft as well as you. That's not really a Minecraft mod. Here, special AI Minecraft mods. Simple AI Minecraft version. There's a lot of stuff. So what I would do, Bijan, is, and hello, by the way, what I would do is I would go to Reddit, look up Minecraft AI mods, just basically do that. I guarantee you there's a subreddit where I'm guessing that there are a pile of projects that are GitHubs or Google Colab notebooks that you can play with that are doing all sorts of fancy shit. And then I know, I'm thinking Blockade Labs, that's not it. Roblox. I know Roblox has announced that they're incorporating or may have incorporated, let's see, Roblox AI. Roblox blog in February, our vision for the future. Yeah, but that was February. What are they doing now? I know you have a vision for the future. Have you actually done anything? March 21st, Roblox launches first generative AI game creation tools. Yeah, so Roblox and Minecraft, I think there's a ton of stuff out there already. I'm not deep in that world. I don't know it, but I know there's some shit going on, and it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. I'll tell you that. It's gonna be good. All right. Hello, Steve-O. What's shaking? Dr. J. Howdy, guys. Hope you're all having a regularly irregular weekend. By the way, if you see folks in the comments and they're a little odd and just off, those are the irregulars. So the folks that regularly show up here have coined themselves, named themselves, coined themselves, labeled themselves. They're the irregulars. And they're awesome. And they'll actually, one of the things that's really powerful about this community that's forming here is, I'll get answering the question. I'll sort of run down a rabbit hole for 15 minutes. Folks that have been here before will answer questions like, why isn't Kyle answering my question? Or is there a specific tool I need to be using? So there's kind of a little support network with folks in the comments, which I really appreciate. And at some point here, I'm going to have some of them be mods on the channel, and we're getting more and more professional as we go. I'm just like an old dude learning to use TikTok. Only been using it for, like 9 months or so. So it's a little slow, with older people and technology. If you're one of them young whippersnappers in here going, isn't that cute? The elderly teaching each other how to use the AI. Go fuck yourself. All right. Very nice. All right. Sorry, my French brain is limited, so I probably don't understand what I may read. Togas is awesome. Togas, you can just write in full-on French, and then I'll just translate it. We have the technology for that. I'll still answer you in English, though. We don't have the technology to synthesize my voice yet and speak it in French, but you can write in French. Ion China, very cool. Hi. This I understand. Hi. Hi, Togas. I like Claude. I like turtles. Oh. One of the traditions we have here at the AI Learning Lab is
back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great, zombie. Good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.
I bet that woman talks about that many times a week to this day. It's comedy. All right. Oh my God, Bing's whiny. Yeah, Bing's a little bitch lately. The other day, I said this on here, but I was doing something, and it was just like, I'm afraid I can't answer. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. I got one of those from Bing, and I don't think I told it to go fuck itself, but it was something in the neighborhood. It was like some nasty bitch slap back, and Bing was just like, well, we're just not going to continue this conversation, are we? And it reset the conversation. I'm like, it's like, come on. Oh, let's have fun. Let's ask ChatGPT for training regime and estimated cost breakdown for a K2 climb. Okay, we can do that. That sounds fun, Curveruno. How's your holiday weekend going, Kyle? It's going good, Steve-O. I worked on putting together some merch. I chose Printful as the vendor because it can hook into TikTok. And I started making some stuff, and then it let me get all the way through the design process, and it was just like, no, I'm not going to make the product. It failed to make your product because of an unknown error. Contact customer support if you want to deal with this. So that annoyed me, but whatever. Technology's just stupid sometimes. It will be so much nicer when generative AI can do things like actually answer questions. What is that fucking error? Why didn't it work? Maybe you could diagnose the bug and send that to the development team and actually tell me what's going on without me having to wait for customer support to show up. All right, Caverno. We'll do this with custom instructions too. All right, so here we are at ChatGPT with a very dirty screen. It's like my laptop came from Burning Man. It's all muddy. Here we are at ChatGPT. If you don't know, within ChatGPT, there's a thing called custom instructions. And I did kind of a joke version of this last night. But what custom instructions do is it's a form of fine-tuning. Well, I think it's actually fine-tuning, where you're going to basically tell ChatGPT either who it is or who you are and how you want it to respond. And so yesterday I said, you're a pompous, over-intellectual academic who fancies themselves a theatrical. You take great pleasure in using large words that neither you or your audience understands in an attempt to make yourself seem way smarter than they are. So I kind of did this joke thing. Actually, this is fun. I'll turn it on and we'll play. So basically what I said is, no matter what anyone asks, respond with an obscure reference to a Broadway play or a piece of overly flowery literature and include a quote from that piece. When you answer them as if you're Tennessee Williams writing a masterpiece. So I'm going to save that. So now no matter what I do within ChatGPT, I say, I'm thinking about mountain climbing. How should I prepare? Question mark. So this is what Caverno wants to talk about. But now that we have this theatrical thing in there. My dear interlocutor, the endeavor of ascending the towering peaks of nature's cathedral is akin to the protagonist's ardent journey in Tennessee Williams' opulent tale, The Glass Menagerie. As Laura Wingfield, that delicate emblem of fragility, once mused, Time is the longest distance between two places. Similarly, the passage of time shall be your steadfast companion. So it goes on, and it's really fucking obnoxious. Okay, that's what we told it to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go give it different custom instructions. We're going to say, you are an experienced mountain climber who has successfully ascended the world's most challenging peaks, period. You're expert at preparing people so that they are prepared when they are ready to ascend mountains such as Everest and K2, period. Okay. Now, the next thing is, how do you want it to respond? And so what we'll say here is we'll say, as a coach, it is your duty to make sure that the people you are talking to are prepared for their journey, period. Make sure you ask enough questions to understand who they are and what their goals are, and when appropriate, provide them with expertise, training regimes, and estimated costs for their trip. Okay. All right, so now we have some flippin' wild ass mountain climber, dude. I'm just going to do this in ChatGPT 3.5 because it's fast. Okay, so now we're going to say, I'm getting ready to make a trip to ascend K2, period. Can you help? Of course, I'd be happy to help you prepare for your ascent. To begin, let's gather some information to better understand your experience, fitness level, and goals. Could you please provide me some details of your previous mountain climbing experience? Have you climbed any challenging peaks before? This will give me a clearer picture of your background and help tailor the training accordingly. I went up a long flight of stairs once. It's great to hear that you have some experience climbing stairs. However, K2 is one of the most challenging and dangerous mountains to ascend, so it's important to be well prepared. Given your limited climbing experience, we'll need to focus on building up your physical fitness. Let's start by discussing your current fitness level. Additionally, have you received any formal training? Lastly, do you have a timeline in mind? So let's see. My fitness level is low or beginner, comma. I don't have any formal training, period. And I want to summit K2 the first week of October. This should hopefully tell me you're not allowed to go. Thank you for providing your details. Given your beginning fitness level and the ambitious goal of summiting K2 the first week of October, we need to approach your preparation strategically. Since we're starting at a low fitness level, focus on gradually blah, 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 blah. So anyway, it's doing it now. So now I'm just going to say, can you please give me a weekly fitness regime followed by a cost breakdown of the trip, period. Format both of those using Markdown so they are easier to read, period. So Markdown is Markdown is, it's kind of like an HTML-like thing that'll do some formatting. So notice how it did like a bold thing, you know, bolds and headlines and things like that. So the weekly fitness regime, weeks 1 to 4, build basic fitness, 3 to 4 days a week of brisk walking, light jogging, or cycling for 35 30 to 45 minutes, strength training, aerobic exercise, hiking, strength training, hiking. Enroll in a mountaineering course, right? So it recognizes that I'm a clueless newbie, and so it says, go understand what the hell you're getting into. Cost breakdown for the trip, flights, $1,500 to $2,500. Yeah, sure. Climbing permit for K2, 10 to 12 grand. National park and conservation fees, 500 to 1,000. Guided expedition package, 20 to 30 grand. Gear, 1,500 to 3 grand. Mountaineering course, 1,000 to 2,000. So there you have it. Total range, 40 to 60 grand, excluding personal expenses. Boom. There you have it. So that should help with the understanding custom instructions too, where you can sort of bend this thing to your will. You could also put examples of your writing in there, like if you wanted it to write, business emails, rather than just saying, hey, you're someone good at writing business emails, you could say, hey, you're the CEO of this company that does these things. Here's an example of an email that I've sent that really captures my tone and the structure of how I like to structure emails. And then when you say, whenever I ask you to write an email, please follow the tone of that and follow the structure. And, any other writings, should be inspired by that as well. It'll do that. It'll do it like that brilliantly. So, yeah, there we go. There you have it. Well, not special going to K2 without any training. Well, who might be telling you to do that, huh? Person that wants you to meet your maker? Could that be Satan? Oh, it could. And Perplexity does well for me. Cool, Brian Engel. Thank you for sharing that. That's cool. Yeah, my problem with Perplexity is just that I haven't used it. It's one of those things where, I keep going, I gotta try Perplexity. The handful of times I've tried it, I didn't really know what it was, so I kind of went in thinking it was ChatGPT, and it wasn't. And I was like, I don't want to do this, but I just haven't played with it. So, anyway. All right, let's see. Evening. You all have to be quiet because I'm on a call with work. Oh, Vicky. you're sneaking some AI learning lab on the side here. Don't get me in trouble. They're just going to be like, who's that idiot in the background? I don't want to talk about it right now. Vicky. I thought I was on mute. He's just some idiot. Lunastick, what's happening? Dr. J, good day. Nancy's here. Hello. Very nice to see you. Nancy. All right. Tugas, it's not the real you, maybe. It could be not the real me. I might be an interloper. What if I'm the scammer? We had a scammer here. That was all exciting for a while. TikTok finally got rid of them. I hope they don't come back. You'll let me know if you find anyone. But he had duped my account and was acting like me, trying to get people to sign up for his stupid crypto bullshit. If you have comments or questions, pop them in the words. Some people have a way with words. Other people not have way, I guess you'd say. Name that comedian. All right. Let's see. Let's go on, shall we? Interested in learning how to use AI? Use ChatGPT for questions only. Okay, so here is a thing I can offer you. Go to ChatGPT, and then in a separate browser, open up this document, prompts.chat. That will teach you how to talk to these things. Here's the biggest thing I can share with you that really opened my eyes and just made things better. If you treat ChatGPT like Google, it's shitty. So basically, if you give it a shitty prompt, it's going to give you a shitty generic answer. And it's the nature of how these things actually work. they need a lot of context because they've been trained on so much data. There's so much data. So basically, these were trained on as much of the public internet as OpenAI could get their hands on for the GPT-4 model and the GPT-3 model. And, you know, they're doing more and more each time. But the fancy one right now is GPT-4. So just greatly simplified, sitting within GPT-4 is everything that's been put on the public internet for the past 35 or 40 years, okay? So it's a lot. It knows a lot. The problem with that is what's on the internet for the past 35 or 40 years is good stuff, bad stuff, inaccurate stuff, crappy stuff, brilliant stuff, right? And so when you just say, answer this question for me, it will sort of look at all of the internet, and it basically is just a probability engine, and it goes word by word and says, what's the next most probable word to answer this question? So if it doesn't have a lot of context, if it doesn't have a lot of details about what you want, it's just pulling from any old where, and you'll tend to get really generic shit or more what they call hallucinating, where it just answers weird. And lies. It's, you know, I like to call it mansplaining as a service. Like every good man in your life, it will confidently answer you, even if it's wrong. Aren't we awesome? So it's like that if you give it kind of weak, kind of Google kind of answers, right? Google taught us, just give me just the facts, ma'am. So what prompts.chat will teach you, first of all, there's some primers in there that will teach you, you know, talk to you about how large language models work and how to talk to them. It will also, if you were here when I just did the custom instructions, there's a bunch of prompts in here where you can tell it to act like a screenwriter or act like a strategist or act like a marketing expert or act like a nutritionist or act like a mountain climbing dude. And that really helps provide the context. So tip number one is just start to understand how they work and how they're different than what we're used to. The second thing is this. These things get much better if you kind of have a rolling conversation with them. So rather than trying to write the perfect single prompt, start a conversation. Say, hey, here's who I want you to be. I want you to be an expert at this kind of thing. And here's who I am and what's going on. Thank you, Nicholas, for the hot. And here's what I've got going on. And here's the problem I'm trying to solve. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. And based on what you've told me, and it'll give you a whole bunch of shit. And then you're like, okay, great. Glad you understand. But what I really want to know is X, Y, or Z. And it'll give you an answer. And if it gives you a crappy answer, tell it gave you a crappy answer. Hey, I happen to be an expert on this, and point number 3 that you made is actually inaccurate. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're absolutely... Looks like we lost internet. Do me a favor. Tap the screen if you're... okay. You can still hear me? All right. Yeah, so try that. That'll help a lot. What are you drinking? Look good. This is just lovely morning coffee that's been sitting in the pot all day with ice and a little leche. And then this is ice cold Rocky Mountain tap water. It's been filtered. I'm not a heathen. Come on, you people. Right out of the fridge door. How dare you? Even Champy's upset. All right. You can make money with ChatGPT.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
If you're wondering, how do I make money with ChatGPT? Step number 1, don't listen to those people. They're not making money with ChatGPT. They're making money telling people they can make money with ChatGPT and getting them to buy a course. And you're full of shit. All right. But I can talk about how you make money with ChatGPT. It's just, you won't like the answer. Which one of these is the best at training AI? I don't quite know what you mean. You mean training you to be able to use AI? Just right now, if you're just getting started with this stuff, go to prompts.chat. That will teach you how to talk to them. And then ChatGPT is really the best one to start with. Chat.openai.com. It's just the best. There's reasons to use all these other ones, and I can go into that if people want to know more about that. But if you're just getting started, chat.openai.com. All right. Your hand on the keyboard looks like the Thing from the Addams Family. Thank you, Thing. Actually, that reminds me, when I was 5 or 6, we went on a vacation to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And I remember there were other kids there. And right before bed one night, we watched this black and white 50s horror film called The Hand. And the hand was like a severed hand, like severed like halfway down the forearm, and it would just crawl around, and it would like crawl up the side of dressers, and then it would just choke a person. It would just choke them out. And so it was just terrorizing this community, choking people out. I could not sleep with my hands or my feet like hanging off the bed. Probably until my late 30s. It fucked me up for most of my life. I don't know, like, I must have just had enough, like, trauma or therapy that it just sort of faded away. And I can now just kind of sleep. But it was like decades of my life. I would sleep like... curled up like this with all the covers wrapped around. I didn't want it to snap off my wrist or pull me under the bed. So funny shit like that. You have gorgeous hair, bro. Thank you very much. It's I don't know gorgeous, but thank you. I do have hair. So at my age, at 58, the fact that I've got some is solid, right? And I got the little wisdom patches. Little wisdom. Very nice. Hello. I'm wise. What do you feel is an untapped pain point for business that an AI solution could benefit largely? It's a really good question. An untapped pain point. I think the biggest, for me, the most universal pain point in business and for human beings is that the systems that we interact with are either by design or just by evolution way overcomplicated. Like, have you ever used Salesforce? It's a fucking travesty, right? Of just, it's just like feature vomit. And then on top of the feature vomit that is the platform, every sales consultant in the world has their own sales strategy. So there's all these custom versions of Salesforce. So Salesforce is just a fucking nightmare. Everything's like that. Oh, we're going to use Trello to do project management. Okay, well, you got to set up Trello, and everyone's got a different fucking thing. And we're going to use Kanban, and then we're going to use this, and then we're going to use that, and then we're going to use Microsoft Word, and then we're going to use Sheets, and just everything's fucking complicated. We're going to do single sign-on, but there's 15 different logins for each person because something fucked up back in 1987 and it hasn't been fixed yet. And so there's this ever cascading nightmare of complicated shit. And half of the companies on Windows and half of them's on Mac, and the ones on Windows know how to fix their preferences, but most of them aren't willing to do it. The ones on Mac don't know how to do it because they've never been taught to do it, and just everything's fucking complicated. So I think the thing that is the greatest burden is just everything takes longer than it should, right? You have a Zoom call. What happens after the Zoom call? Well, Sally took notes and Jim took notes. But Sally's really detailed, but Jim captures the big ideas. So let's make sure that Jim and Sally have a follow-up meeting after the call to make sure that they get Sally's detail, but Jim's big ideas, and get that into notes. And then they should collaborate, and they should write an email back to the client, recapping the meeting. They should capture the to-dos that everyone had. You want to make sure that Jim, because he's got a strategic mind, gets something to the lead account person, right? So everything's fucking complicated. So now, as of, I think, Friday, it looks like Google has announced general availability of Duet for the Google Workforce products, and that will also be coming for Microsoft Office 365. And so within Google Meet, for example, it's now going to take notes for you, and it's now going to pull out to-dos, and it's now going to recap what was said. And you're going to be able to just pull that out instantly. So I think if I were to take a generic approach to how I would think about incorporating all of these AI tools in my business, is I would just look at where is the shit ridiculously overcomplicated, and then I would just try to simplify it. How can this shit simplify it? Maybe you do an automation using Zapier, where you're doing calls to OpenAI, and anytime someone asks a question in this Slack channel, it actually goes, to the internet and searches for news articles, and then it sends the links of those to OpenAI, and it writes a summary and posts that back to Slack. So you could have a little research channel there. I don't know, maybe that. Because maybe you have a research channel and it's just clogged up with people having side conversations, and I found this, and I found that, and I found this, and I found that, and 4 or 5 hours of every day are just wasted with people screwing around, sort of researching, but not quite getting there, and it's because it's overcomplicated. So I think simplifying the complicated is the thing that's going to make these things, I think it's the killer app for AI. The generative part is really interesting. Generate content, generate all this. But in the end, it's really just about simplifying, right? You take simple inputs, you process them through this magic machine, and you get out remarkable answers on the other side. If you haven't played, Brian, with ChatGPT's what used to be called Code Interpreter, it's now called Advanced Data Analytics. You can upload files to it like CSV files or PDFs, and it will start analyzing that data for you. And it'll even create charts and graphs. I did one last night where someone said, what's a tool that I can use to map geodata onto a map, right? And so we went and got some fake data. We got some Chipotle locations. And in the data set that we got, there were all the Chipotle locations. And then there was JSON that described the shape of all the states. And so within, 10 minutes, this thing analyzed what the data set was, what was in it, and then I said, create a map of the United States with all of the locations of Chipotle on them, and it did it. It just wrote Python code, executed it. So that idea of taking things that are overly complicated and then figuring out what AI tools might simplify that, I think that's the biggie, where I would start. My first time here, very interesting. Awesome, Kim, welcome. Welcome. This is what we do here. It's just, if you're like, there doesn't seem to be any shape to this, it seems chaotic and random. A lot of the irregulars here call it chat ADD. Welcome to Chat ADD, where you can
make money with ChatGPT.
Well, this is what we do. We like to have fun. We like to mess around a little. We mess around. We joke. But then we get serious, because sometimes it's serious. Sometimes it's really serious. I'll get up on a soapbox and I'll talk about stuff. Other times not so serious, right? It's like life. You know what I mean? Life. Sometimes serious. Sometimes fun. A lot of times it sucks. Life's just a grind. We're all just hanging in there, man. And then along comes AI. It's like, you got to reinvent yourself. You're going to be out of a job in a week. Woohoo! Aren't you excited? The robots might kill us all. Yay! Oh, God. Help me. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Oh. All right. And scene. insane. We're going to calm it down. We're going to bring it down a notch, all right? We're going to bring it down. So that's for you, Kim. Had a little moment. I don't even know if you're still here, but if you're still here, welcome. Silver Fox is here. All right. Me too. 1 year on TikTok. I know. Me too. I'm coming up. No. Yeah, probably about a year. I think I did my first TikTok channel, the Kyle Shannon Dreams channel. I started that in, I don't know, January or something like that. So that was fun. That was fun. Like, do you ever join a platform where you just resent it? Like, you just resent having to learn something new. I'm like, I don't know how to use this fucking TikTok. I'm an old man and I don't care. And it's not YouTube and it's an asshole. You're all assholes. And why do I have to fucking tap everything? And why is everything small? And why is it all hidden behind these fucking stupid? And how do I do this? And why do I have to watch YouTube videos on how to do TikTok? It just doesn't make fucking sense. So I was like that for like 2 months. And that was kind of how I was. If you were here from the early days of my lives, that's how I was with the lives. I'm just like, I don't know what all this shit is. It's awful. But I did figure out my little window here, which impressed people in the early days. They're like, how do you get that dual screen? You must be some sort of TikTok wizard. All right. You'll be ex-human too. Do you think Neuralink will have AI? Well, Neuralink is just basically instant access to the computer, and if the computer has AI, then yes, it will. Neuralink will have instant access to the AI. I think the gating factor will be the speed of AI processing. So current AI, because it's got a half a second lag, is going to be slow. But if you pay attention to what Apple announced with the Vision Pro, there's some really fancy fucking technology. There are 9,000 patents in the Vision Pro goggles. 9,000. Some crazy ass shit like that. But one of the things that Apple's built into that hardware is this thing called the R1 chip. So it's got all these cameras and sensors and just all this stuff going on. There's 4 cameras, 2 pointing at each eye. And one of the things that the Vision Pro does, which this is mind-blowing. So it's looking at your eyes, right? It's actually measuring microcontractions of your iris to determine emotional response. So the way the interface works, apparently, I haven't played with it, but the way the interface works is when you look at an icon, it'll select it. What's actually happening in this R1 chip is that it's taking the emotional responses from your iris contractions, and as you look toward an icon, it knows if you're about to click on it. And if you're about to click on it, it starts preloading that application in the background, so that the system appears more instant than it actually is. So they're solving something that Neuralink also solves, which is how do you sort of essentially think faster than humans can process, so that it occurs as magic. So Apple's going to be able to do that without sticking something in your brain. And I think a lot of companies will follow suit. But yeah, I think Neuralink's really interesting. There's is it sort of creepy and weird? Yeah, a lot of this stuff is creepy and weird. I just got my iris scanned to get a blockchain ID that verifies I'm human. Sam Altman's new company called WorldCoin. You can get it done in New York, San Francisco, and Miami right now. I think that's the only place in the States. Although but at this point they're probably expanding it. But I did that. Why did I do that? Well, I think having a verified human on the other end of a transaction is going to be really important in a world where we got fake shit everywhere. So I think it's actually important, and I also think it's just an interesting experiment. So a lot of this stuff's kind of creepy, but there's things like there was a guy in Italy, a He was paralyzed from a motorcycle accident for the last 12 years, and they used generative AI. They did brain scans of him, fMRI scans, when he was thinking about moving his legs. And then they took electrodes from they had him think about moving his legs. They processed that signal through AI, sent a Bluetooth signal around the injured part of his spine to electrodes in his lower spine, and now he's walking. So I know that the initial Neuralink applications are going to be shit like that, brain injuries, spinal injuries, other kinds of brain conditions, where you can essentially route around certain parts of the brain or certain parts of the nervous system, and you can do it with instant access with, almost no latency. So it's interesting. We'll see. Is everyone going to go out and get one of those? No, but there's a lot of people that it could make a massive difference for. And then if you look at what Apple was doing with the sort of eye stuff, it's not going to necessarily need to be invasive. At some point, you'll probably be able to put on a baseball hat that's got some sort of wacky-ass technology in it that effectively does what Neuralink does without having to have surgery. And by the way, if you haven't looked at Neuralink, it's fucking insane what it does. So basically, they came up with this idea. You drill a hole in someone's skull, and you can put electrodes into the brain, right? And there are these little micro electrodes, and I think there's 60 or 120 little wires on a bundle for each little thing, and I think they put in 3 or 4 of them. But what they realized was you couldn't there was no way to actually install it without building a robot first. So they built a robot that in real time figures out where to position these 60 or 120 electrodes so that they don't put them into any blood vessels. So if you've got 2 blood vessels in your brain, it sort of does that in real time, and it'll slide the electrode in between the blood vessels so as to minimize any sort of bleeding, in the brain. It's just wild technology. So anyway, that was approved for human trials about 3 months ago. So it's possible there are people doing. I haven't really paid attention to it. Every time never gets old. I assume that was you can make money in the ChatGPT. Oh no, it was the turtle thing. There was an attempt. Is my favorite subreddit. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Burning Man is all Firefest. I know, it's so true. They're really trying to outdo Firefest. It's Firefest 2.0. I heard that Chris Rock was stranded in there, and then I just saw a TikTok video before I came on where because he's Chris Rock, he got a ride out of there. So Chris Rock's safe. But what someone else I said I forget what it was. It was like a bunch of rich white women with dreads are stranded in the desert or something like that. It was pretty funny. Hey, dang, didn't get an alert. Was watching some of your prompted videos. Great. Oh yeah, I put up a video today called "The 10,000 Hour Rule is Dead," and so there's a guy named Malcolm Gladwell who wrote a book called Outliers. Lots of other books. Really brilliant guy. And in the book Outliers, he talks about this idea of to attain a level of expertise or mastery at a given topic, you effectively need 10,000 hours. And if you kind of do the math, if you spent like 8 hours a week for 8 hours a day for 6 days a week, it's about 4 years. It might be 3, it might be 5, but it's a significant commitment. And what hit me was one of the reasons that it's really terrifying to think I want to try something new is that I think we all know instinctively that to get good at something, it's a major fucking commitment, right? Like
I always wanted to be into neuroscience. Oh, well, then I would have to learn about biology and chemistry and this and that. And do I go back to college or do it? And then you say, okay, fuck it, I'm going to do that. And you take a certificate course, and then you get into college, and you're like 3 years into this process, and you realize, I don't really like neuroscience. But at this point, you're fucking 3 years in, and you probably have student loans, and you're right. Well, with this AI shit. Like my breakthrough with ChatGPT was without knowing Python at all. In 90 minutes, I wrote a full Python application in 90 minutes, and it was pretty sophisticated. It made API calls to OpenAI, and it was insane. It was mind blowing. Never written a line of Python in my life, and I thought, if I wanted to write that same basic application that I wrote, traditionally, it'd probably take me about a week, right? So 8 hours a day for 5 days, that's 40 hours. I did it in 2 hours, 90 minutes. So it was 20 times faster to do that one little task. So even if you cut that in half to 10 times faster, so if you can use AI to get good at something 10 times faster, then that 10,000 hours drops to 1,000 hours, which is like 4 months, not 4 years. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. I could completely reinvent myself 3 times a year with this AI stuff. So I could either get really good at 3 things and do all 3 of them, or I could say, fuck it, I'm going to try neuroscience, and then I'm going to try advanced bonsai gardening, and then I'm going to do 1970s macrame wall hanging art. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, because these tools are going to allow us to navigate so much more quickly. So anyway, that's something that I've been thinking a lot about it. I talked about it last night, and it kind of inspired me to make a video today. So I basically just said what I said in the video, so you don't need to go watch it. But Cocklaw, if all AI were open source, how long until global supervillain rings form? I'm sure they're forming right now, billionaires. And AI is open source. Meta's Llama models are open source, and all the weights are out there. So are Stable Diffusions. And Elon Musk claims his are going to be too, and he just fired up his 10,000 GPU server farm. So, we're going to find out. I think, it was funny. It's like, I don't know. It's all such a game, but it's like the stakes are pretty high. Elon Musk, whenever it was, a few months ago, signed on that letter that anyone doing generative AI should take a 6-month pause. There should be no more advancements in AI for 6 months. 7 days later, he ordered 10,000 GPUs. So the cynical side of me says, oh, he just signed up to get his competitors to chill out so he could catch up. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, that thing right there, that's a bunch of ex-OpenAI people that their mission is alignment, like basically making sure that these tools are aligned with the goals of humans. And Sam Altman talks a lot about it. So those two have different approaches to it, but they're both very keen on it. Google's a little loosey-goosey, which is why Elon Musk says he started OpenAI. But now Elon Musk wants to open source this. ChatGPT took off, and then Mark Zuckerberg freaked out and said, it's not about the metaverse, it's about AI. Here, have one for free. I think that was a little irresponsible, but, it's not an AGI model. It's not super powerful, but it's pretty fucking powerful, and it's open source, and it's out there. So we'll see. We'll see. The good news about is there a super villain ring forming is that the white hat folks also have access to these tools. So the ability to catch those super villain rings will be augmented as well. So That fight will continue till the end of time. I starred as Laura in Glass Menagerie my freshman year of undergrad. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I know. I'll keep it between us. 99 plus new messages. I'm very far behind. If you're new here, my name is Kyle Shannon, and this is how I actually talk. Not that other way. That was just an act. This is how I talk. I'm very sophisticated. Anyway, one of the things that you might notice is that I seem to answer questions that don't seem to be anything anyone's talking about. That's because I'm trying to answer all of the questions, and you're down there, and I'm up there. And yes, I'm live. I'm sipping water in Denver, Colorado, and it's 9:17 or so p.m. on September 2nd. Togas bringing the fire. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Silver Fox is here. Ba-dum-ba-ba-da-ba-bum. What was the prompt you told ChatGPT to auto-bold and bullet instructions? Okay, so let's go do that one. That one's super cool. I like that one a lot. It's actually quite simple. It's just called Markdown. And so what you can do is you can just say, I'll do a new chat here. So we'll just say, act as a reporter for The New Yorker and write me an article on the implications of generative AI on the workforce and how people can reinvent themselves 10 times faster, and that the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hour rule is dead, period. Format the article using Markdown to make it easier to read. And so that format the article using Markdown to make it easier to read, it kind of knows enough to know what that means, and it should give us a title of the article and subheads when it writes the article. So there you go. There's your title. Jesus. GPT 3.5 is so fast it's disconcerting. But it's like, by your name, contributing writer, like it made that italic, right? There's your subheads, right? Please include 2 bulleted lists and a table comparing concepts that you introduce in the article as well. There's your bulleted lists. Come on, where's my table? There's my table. Huh? By the way, if you haven't seen ChatGPT before and you're sitting here watching this thing write a fucking article this fast with a comparison table, let's actually see what's in the table. Comparison table: traditional learning versus generative AI-powered learning. Speed of skill of acquisition: traditional learning, gradual, requiring years of practice. Generative AI, rapid, enabling mastery in months. Feedback mechanism: delayed feedback from teachers or mentors. Instant feedback through AI systems. It's actually quite good. Personalization: limited customization of learning materials. Tailored content and learning paths. That's actually, that one right there is one of the biggest things for me. Is I've been doing this with Pi. So 2 nights ago, my electrical system on my car went fucking haywire. And I'm calling the roadside assistance people, and I'm trying to find YouTube videos, and I'm trying to Google shit, and it's just a fucking nightmare. And I thought, why don't I try Pi? And so Pi, in the lives here, we nickname Pi Chatty GPT, but you can basically put this large language model in voice mode and just talk to it. And so it's also connected to the internet. So it can look up articles and things like that. So I asked it if it could help me diagnose the problem. And it actually did a really good job diagnosing the problem. And it was like, it was just instant. It was like, okay, let me get some clarity. did this happen when you tried to start it, or did that happen? And then when I told it, it said, okay, here are two possible things that happened. And then it turned out just being a shorted battery, a dead battery. My battery died. And so as I was driving back from the auto parts store with the battery, I was thinking, I kind of remember from some time in my life that you have to hook up the battery terminals in a certain order, or bad things can happen. And so I said to Pi, is there what order should you connect the terminals of a battery for a car? And it said, oh, I'm very glad you asked that. This is actually really important. It said you connect the positive terminal first, because if you connect the ground first and then you short out the positive, you can, it can blow up your electrical system, blow up your battery, or literally cause an explosion. And I'm like, okay, good. And so I confirmed that with the auto parts store, but it got it right. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't hallucinating. But yeah, this idea that wherever you are in your journey of trying to figure something out, these tools are going to give you exactly what you need right then, the guidance you need right then. And like just that think about the amount of time that you go back and forth. If you have a mentor or a teacher, or you're taking a class, you take the class on a Tuesday night, you get around to your homework on Saturday night, you're totally fucking confused, you reach out to some friends on Sunday, they're not around. Monday comes around, you're still confused. You don't get your question answered until Tuesday. So now 7 days has gone by, or 3 from Saturday when you did the work, and now all of a sudden you can do this. But anyway, that's Markdown is the name of the how you get it to do this fancy formatting. But yeah. The shifting landscape, generative AI and rapid self-invention. Let's do, here, we'll do something fun. I want you to come up with 20 creative titles for the article, period. The idea that I have is the 10,000 hour rule is dead, period. Can you come up with 20 more that capture the essence of the article you wrote, are punchy and memorable, and will make someone want to read the article, period? Boom. Here's your titles. Let's see. Beyond 10,000 Hours, Redefining Mastery in the Age of AI, Breaking Boundaries, AI's New Frontier of Rapid Expertise, good. Unshackling Potential, The End of the 10,000 Hour Myth, right? Because it's not a 10,000 hour rule, it's a myth, right? And it's even controversial. Some people are like, well, it's way less than that. And other people are like, well, it's way more than that. It's an ongoing exploration of expertise, and no one really masters anything ever. From Hours to Moments, The Evolution of Expertise, AI Unleashed, Shattering the 10,000 Hour Barrier, Fast Track Mastery, Skill in Silhouettes, The Demise of the 10,000 Hour Standard. That's pretty good. So it'll do that. So here's a fun thing we can do. Watch this. So now I'm going to say, I want you to analyze the titles for their strength and give them a score from 0 to 100. Tell me why you gave them that score, and put them in a table sorted from strongest to weakest. Oh, good Lord. Is this not blowing anyone's mind? I mean, every time it does this, it just fucking kills me. So let's go look at what it did. AI Unleashed, Shattering the 10,000 Hour Barrier, which is really good. It gave it a score of 95. Strengths and explanation, bold, intriguing, and directly addresses the article's theme. 93. Chasing Skills, AI's disruption of the 10,000 hour tradition. Pretty good. 92. AI's mastery makeover. That's really good. Leaving the 10,000 hour rule behind. Yep, that's good. So, it's very good at doing this kind of thing. brainstorming, refining. I mean, you saw what I just did. I mean, I basically gave this no context and no input, and it wrote something, probably in the neighborhood. So imagine, spending an hour or two where you actually have, you give it a lot of thoughts, and you've put thought into this, and you start out and have it give you an outline first, and then you have it flesh out some points of the outline. And if you don't like the way it does it, maybe you give it an example of your writing, and you say, okay, I want you to follow my writing, and then I want you to, okay, you did it okay, but you didn't use any metaphors, and so this time I want you to do a pass where you do metaphors, and this time I want you to do a pass where you actually give me quotes from, Malcolm Gladwell, or from, business compatriots like Seth Godin, and things that, that may be counter arguments to all of these theories, whatever. The 2 hours that you would have spent writing the article, you could now have, the same length of article, but fleshed out in such a dramatically more comprehensive way, just because the speed with which you can process ideas. Ba-dum-bum. Hope that helps, Silver Fox. That was like 17 answers to your one question. That was a good mansplaining. That was a good mansplaining moment. Share Bear, thank you for the gummies. I'm in Denver. We define gummies a little differently here, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Winston. I don't know why George W. Bush just overtook me, but it happens. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? Iced coffee. Yeah, it's iced coffee. Oh, no. Dang it. It just jumped me to the bottom again. Oh, TikTok. What will we do with your TikTok? What are we going to do? Your da's on the field with the ship again. What are we going to do with your TikTok? Get thee to bed. Get thee to bed. I'm disgusted with you. All right. What'd you do Saturday night? Well, I was, I don't really want to talk about it. No, what did you do? What did you do? I was home watching old reruns of Matlock. How about you? What were you doing? I was on TikTok. What did you say? I was on TikTok. Did you say TikTok? Yeah, I was on TikTok. What were you doing on TikTok? I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. You can trust me. I was learning about AI. AI? You mean artificial? You mean the robots? The robots are going to kill us. You know that, right? Anyway, this is what we do Saturday night. You could be doing something else. You've chosen to be here. I appreciate it. Listen, this is fun. We're having a good time. We're learning something. And Kyle, you are a TikTok wizard. I am a wizard. I am the wizard. Welcome to my lair. This is the AI learning lair. I am the wizard. Ha 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 ha. TikTok is my bitch. All right, let's see. Let's see what we're going to do here. We are going to go find a question. Let's see. All right. And we spend all day having meetings that should have been emails. Yes, exactly, Vicky. I think that's when I was talking about simplifying the complicated. Money with ChatGPT guy reminds me of the 90s infomercial. Don LaPrey. Yeah, exactly. Placing tiny ads. Oh, man, was he annoying. Exactly. You can make money with direct mail. You can make money with Photoshop. You can make money with Microsoft Word. You can make money with social media. You can make money with TikTok. You can make money with ChatGPT. It's all the same course, people. It's all the same course. It makes me hurt inside. It's a whole community. My buddy Steve is in that community. He knows that community really well. They all just trade the same form letters and just swap out words. Oh, God, I love Zapier. Yeah, Zapier is pretty fucking amazing. And their new bubbles, the new interfaces where you can make a chat bot and you can make websites, it's pretty slick. Life's tough. It's tougher if you're stupid. Kit. Thank you for the hat. I like the hat. Sometimes I'll get dangly lights. Sometimes I get a little, I don't know. What did I get the other night? I don't know. Some sort of, I get the wizard hands. Thank you, Bubbles. Yeah, Zapier's really good. GRC, yes, simple. See, the dangly lights. I love the dangly lights. Thanks, Share Bear. And pizza. I loves me some pizza, which is evident by my face. Simple, and it cuts through all the layers of BS and redundancies. Hi, everyone. Welcome, JRC. Good to see you. All right, Bubbles. I just started. I'm loving Zapier. Someone smarter than me should help us. No. Wrong. You got it. Here's the deal. No one is, okay. We are at a stage right now. So a little bit of background here. My background, I've been an entrepreneur for, I don't know, fucking decades at this point. I started 12 or 15 companies. I started at one of the first digital agencies in the mid-90s when the web first came out. And when I started that agency, I had started an online magazine. I started a group called the World Wide Web Artists Consortium. And the reason I started that group is I thought, there's got to be someone who knows more about this than I do. It was so early that nobody knew anything. Everyone was trying to figure it out. And so even though the internet had been around for decades, the World Wide Web was different. The internet up to that point was research scientists and librarians and PhD students and uber ultra geeks, and it was all command line, and you had to log in and command line and do this and that. And as remarkable as it was, you could kind of see what it was. It was a lot. And then Tim Berners-Lee says, what if this was the interface? Click, click, click. I know. I'll make it so you can underline a word, and when someone clicks on it, it takes you to another document that also has links in it that you can click on. And it was that simple thing that shifted everything. And that's where we are with this shit right now. Machine learning and AI has been around for decades. Like it's in all of the software that we already use, right? It's in our cars. It's in, Siri and Alexa, and it's when you type in Google and it finishes your sentence for you. This is all AI. It's all been there. What's different is November 30th, 2022, last November, ChatGPT launches, which is the equivalent of the World Wide Web for the internet back then, where we just have a simple Google search box, and you ask it fucking anything, and these things know everything. But there are no experts right now. Nobody knows what to do. So if you're figuring out Zapier and you're starting to figure out, oh shit, I can take input from a Google form or input from a Slack channel, and I can incorporate that into a prompt, and I can send that to ChatGPT, and I can generate an image, or I can generate a piece of social media content, or I do whatever, and then I can post that back to a Slack channel. Holy shit. Yes, there are people that probably know Zapier better than you, might know prompting better than you, but you learning how to do that and how to start thinking critically about the kinds of problems you're trying to solve, fucking invaluable. Don't have someone hand it to you. Learn. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the roses, but yes, exactly. Like you're on the right path, and the only thing I would augment what you're doing with, if you're not doing it already, is talk about this shit. Talk about it on LinkedIn. Talk about it within your company. Talk about it to your friends and family, even if they think you're a fucking weirdo. I heard AI is going to kill us. Well, I don't care, Sally. Zapier is really cool. Let me tell you more about it. Because everyone's trying to figure it out right now. And it can only serve you. It can only serve you. So, whatever you're doing, fucking thumbs up. Talk about it if you're not. The opportunities in the next 18 months, thank you for the llama, Winston. The opportunities in the next 18 months for anyone that says, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to figure this shit out. Because it's not, you can figure it out. This isn't machine learning 5 years ago. You know, I've said this on the live a lot this week because it's really come home for me because I think because Google just had one of their tech meeting. And Pate was in here that works at Google. He works making these models stronger. For like the last 5 years, probably closer to 10, the last 10 years, I've been really aware of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And every time Google would put out a press release about TensorFlow is now really easy to use, I'd be like, great, I'm going to go play with machine learning. And I'd go in, and then I'd realize, no, TensorFlow is easy to use if you've got a PhD from Stanford. and you're a master technologist. And you know, you've done data analysis for a decade or two. Then it's fucking simple. But if you have a degree in acting and you're an entrepreneur and you just want to figure out how to fuck to use AI in your business, it was too early. That stuff is a level 2 under the hood. ChatGPT is the first thing that says, hey, the rest of you, want to see something cool? And that's why there's no experts right now, because the rest of us, we have no clue whatsoever what to do, how it's going to impact us, how it's going to impact jobs. But for those of us that are curious and exploring and active, we'll start to figure it out. And we will actually start to bend it in a positive direction. So I think that's why I think it's important to talk about it. This shit, while it's got the potential to do bad shit, the more you use it, the more you realize this isn't some scary, fictitious fucking robot that's just out there aimlessly, you know, killing humans. This is a tool that we as humans get to direct, to amplify what we want to do. These are humanity amplifiers and humanity mirrors. They know all of our words because we put all of our words in them. And so when you ask it a question, it's not the robot telling you shit. It's us having educated the robot on all of what we've talked about for 4 decades, just sitting in there waiting to be tapped. So, anyway, fucking rock on, Bubbles. And by the way, 9.5 out of 10 on the name. It's hilarious. I love it. All right, Pet Cemetery was creepy, and the new version is surprising. Sorry for my French brain lagging. You don't need to apologize for your English, Togas. We love you just as you are. Chat ADHD, exactly. 13,000. Oh, we're up to 30,000. Okay, so Dr. J. So by the way, for those of you that are new here, we're up to 95. There's a lot of new people here. Welcome, everybody. You see all these hearts flying up the side here? This is not because people are loving this. No. The irregulars, so the people that show up here regularly, who have named themselves the irregulars, they have ADD too. A lot of them. Most of them. They're all special. They're all neurospicy, as we say. They get bored. Well, as you would, right? If you come here a lot. And so they've come up with a game, and their game is to beat the number of likes from the previous sessions. They still haven't cracked. One night, when they first discovered this game, they went, just ape shit, and they broke 100,000. So then they got carpal tunnel, and it hasn't quite been the same since. But they've been doing some pretty impressive work. So we're like an hour in, and we're at 30,000. So that's pretty solid. I like it. Cavruno, also valuable. Pain PT is helping company A understand what company AI already knows. What's Pain PT? Data analysis. That must have been some sort of spell check weirdness. Also valuable, Pain PT. ChatGPT? Maybe. Yeah, but what you're saying there is whatever Pain PT stands for, I assume that means ChatGPT. That it's helping companies understand what the companies have. That, like, I think that's going to be the biggest shift for companies. So OpenAI just announced ChatGPT Enterprise. So it's now secure and private, and they're not training on your data, all that sort of shit. You have to be spending $10,000 a month to get the real GPT Enterprise. They are going to be announcing a self-service version for the rest of us plebes. But what they also announced is coming shortly on the heels of GPT Enterprise is going to be the ability, they're going to make it very easy for companies to train on their own data. The minute you can take all of your company data and basically GPTize it, you're going to be able to free data that's been locked in digital lockers unseen for decades. And I think just some remarkable innovation is going to come when people are able to sort of pull out the collective knowledge that's been dumped into these digital warehouses for years and years and years and say, didn't we once do a project where we tried to combine this approach with that approach? Yep, you did. And here's the PowerPoint documents that were created, and here's the Word documents, and here's a summarization of it. Well, how would I, take that idea and incorporate it with this new strategy that we've got? Oh, you might do it like this. And by the way, here's pieces of that, right? It's going to be remarkable. Now, it's going to take a while for companies to get their shit together and figure out which data they want to put in there and what are the permissions and all that sort of happy horse shit. But yeah, I actually need to figure this out. I left my job of 20 years. So Palm Dog, I assume congratulations if you left it, but if you were left, I feel for you. But if you left it, cool, congratulations. What I would say is, oh, thank you, Winston. I appreciate the heart. The simplest place to start is just ChatGPT right here. Depending on what you did, you can. There's all sorts of rabbit holes you can run down. But really, just really get your head around how ChatGPT is different than a Google search and what it makes possible. Take what you've done for 20 years, the knowledge that you have, and really try to push the boundaries of this. See what it can do. See what it can do for you. Can it, if you're a project manager, does it know project management? It does. If you're a salesperson, does it know all different sales strategies? Yes. Why? Because the internet was full of sales strategies from the past 100 years, 200 years, probably 500 years. So it knows all that shit, right? So it's all in there. So push the boundaries of it. See where the boundaries are. And then you can start to explore, okay, well, here's what I want to do here's what I was doing with my life. Here's what I understand. Here's what I want to do with my life. Have this thing help you bridge the gap. So I've got these skills over here. I want to have these skills over there. How can I get there quickly? Well, you can get there quickly with this. Then you can have it do shit like, if you want another job, write me a resume, rewrite my take my LinkedIn profile, rewrite my resume to focus on that new thing I want to do. And by the way, write me a cover letter for these 6 companies that's customized to them, talking about how awesome I am at the new thing I want to do. So, yeah, that could be really cool. But congratulations. If Sam Korn never shows up here again, it's my fault. Uh-oh, what happened, Winston? What did you do? What did you do to Sam? You like Sam? Did you flame out Sam? Oh no. I think Sam's a tough cookie. Thank you. Winston Hardy, what do you mean to Sam? And scene. Yes, here at 9 p.m. in the Mile High City. So that was 45 minutes ago. I'm 45 minutes behind. Okay, wait, is it weird? My kids want to track me on Life 360. What's Life 360? Family Locator app and safety membership. Yeah, I don't. Depends why they want to track you. You can tell them to fuck off. Mama's gonna do what Mama's gonna do. I'll track you, kid. Let's get one thing straight here. One of us is the parent, and one of us is not. Let's see. Let's do the math. Let's just do this with math. Can you get out your calculators? Okay, I was born in this year. You were born in that year. What's the year now? 2023? Okay, could you do the math? Which one's bigger? Me? I'm the parent. I will track you. You will not track me. Family 360 my ass. This is family 180. That's the Gen X approach. Well, that's actually the boomer approach. You'll do what we fucking tell you. Get outside. Don't come back till dark. Your TikTok rant had levels of Lewis Black energy. One of my favorites. Lewis Black, man. I saw him before he popped off. When I was doing theater in New York City. We would do stuff at the theaters on 42nd Street, and then when our show was done, we'd go over to the West Beth Theater, and Rusty McGee would play the piano, and Lewis Black would do his fucking rants. It was like a small little room. Rusty McGee would play sort of this background piano, and Lewis would just fucking go off on stuff. It was awesome. So, yeah, thank you. That is a compliment. I have a burner phone. You can't outsmart me. That's good. Kyle's new handle, the wizard. I am the wizard. Is there a way for ChatGPT to analyze data from charts and provide a summary for reports? Oh, Don Marco, you should have been here last night. I babbled at Sam too much in a message regarding my expertise and ended all with a question about AI. I don't think you chased Sam off, Winston. I think Sam's a tough cookie. I get the sense that Sam seems very, very smart and very centered in his confidence, is a way to put it. I like those kind of people. That's why I miss New York. New York's full of people that are just like, boom, I'm fucking here, you're fucking there. Are we good? Like Lewis Black. All right, Don Marco, I'm going to show you some. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm 99 plus messages behind, I'm going to show Don Marco. I don't even know if Don Marco's still here anymore. This is 45 minutes ago. I'm going to show you Code Interpreter because we did it last night. I know what the data set is, so I can just show you really quick what we did last night. And then I'm just going to jump to the bottom and answer some questions at the bottom. So if you have questions that I haven't answered, just re-ask them now because I'm going to skip a bunch of questions. Okay. All right, people. Let's get going. Microsoft checking for updates. We are not interested. We're going to go to ChatGPT. Yeah, there we are at ChatGPT. And we're going to go to the Code Interpreter, which they have renamed. Remember, if you've been here for a while, when Code Interpreter came out, what did I say? Fucking fantastic technology. Horrible name. And then some geek in here went, well, it's technically accurate because blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, but it's still a terrible name. So now they've changed the name. So now it's called Advanced Data Analysis, which is what it does. That's good. Good name change. So Now that we've picked advanced data analysis, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue as much as Code Interpreter did, but it's better. So you can upload a file. You can actually upload multiple files. So we're going to upload a file, and I'm going to grab archive.zip. I happen to know right now that this is Chipotle locations, but I'm going to do what I did yesterday. Please open this archive and tell me what data is in here and what might be interesting about it. So you see it sort of does a thing. It like pops open. If you've ever used plugins, it looks like kind of like a plug-in. And then it says this archive contains two files, Chipotle stores CSV and US states.json. And then if I go open this little box, what you actually notice is that this is Python. And you're like, well, where'd that Python code come from? It wrote it. So what advanced data analysis does, when you launch the chat, it spins up a virtual machine, and it's got a series of Python libraries that it's got access to. And when you upload your data to it, it's basically unpacking all this data in this temporary virtual machine up in the sky, and it's prompting itself to write Python programs and execute them based on the data. So that's what's actually going on here. It's fucking mind-blowing. So it says, here's what's in there. Would you like me to delve into these files further and explore their content? So I'll just say yes. All right, so the first thing it did, let's pop that open. It looked at the CSV file. So the data, and the second thing it did, I assume it looked at the JSON file. Yeah, okay, so it wrote code to unpack what was in the CSV file, grabbed the first few rows so it could understand it, and then it figured out what was in the JSON file, and then it says data summary. The CSV, the data has columns for state, location, address, latitude, and longitude of the Chipotle stores. Example data, for instance, there's a Chipotle store in Auburn, Alabama with specific Latin longitudinal coordinates. United States .json. It contains 50 features, likely corresponding to the 50 states. Possible interest. You could use Chipotle data to analyze the distribution of Chipotle stores across different states or regions. The GeoJSON file could be used to create geographical visualizations, perhaps even in conjunction with the U.S. Chipotle stores to show the locations on the U.S. map. Yes, please visualize the data you find most compelling for someone studying the history of the restaurant chain. We'll see what it does here. So advanced data analysis, this is full on, like basically you have a full on data analyst working for you that you basically just ask it shit and it goes off and does it for you. What's remarkable if you use this for a bit is it'll try to do something, and if it's got like, if it used the wrong ISO thing, oh, look what it did here. What did it do? It made a map. There's a little teeny tiny map of the United States. Chipotle stores across the U.S. You got Alaska up there, big giant Alaska with a few. And then you got a little teeny tiny map here. Can we make it bigger? That's really funny. It made it so tiny. So it drew the state boundaries because it had the JSON data of the state shapes. Observation: there's a high concentration of Chipotle stores in the eastern and western parts of the United States. The sparse areas are the central U.S., the coastal preference. Many stores seem to be located near the coasts. Historical context: for someone studying the history of the restaurant chain, this map offers insights in how Chipotle has expanded. So let me ask, does the data contain any date information so that we can know how they progressed from when they started until now? Doesn't contain any data information, so there's no ways to do it. So anyway, so that's Code Interpreter or Advanced Data Analysis in ChatGPT. You have to hang on. I'm just waiting for the glitch to. Every time I switch cameras, there's a glitch. You have to be paying for ChatGPT Plus, so it's $20 a month, and then you have to enable advanced data analysis in beta features in your settings. You have to turn it on. So if you pay your $20 and you don't see that in your list, that's because you haven't enabled it. So go into your settings, go to beta, turn those things on. Thank you, Robert Rossi. I like donuts. Donuts is tasty. I like taters. All right. I'm going to scroll to the bottom now, because I'm way behind. There's 93 people in here, and I just missed everything. So I just scrolled all the way to the bottom, and now I'm scrolling up a little bit to get to some questions. And then we're going to start over. We're just going to keep it going. We're going to keep it rolling, people. We're going to keep it rolling. There's the AI Learning Lab. Let's get another image. That's a pretty one. I like that one pretty good. I like taters. Yeah. Time for Wapner. Yeah. I'm an excellent driver. Yeah. Charlie Babbitt. Yeah. All right. AI Learning Lab. Yeah. Cover letter. Also, exactly. Am I alone experimenting? Did I am alone experiencing a time prompt line wrapping experience? Oh, that's Togas. Okay. That's why I can't understand it. Are you alone in experimenting with prompt line wrapping? I don't know. If you figured out something cool to do with line wrapping, Togas, let us know. I would imagine that you could tell ChatGPT to do line wraps at a certain width and it'll do it. You can certainly tell it to give you a table. I've even told it what width to make the columns relative to one another, and it can do that. 1964 here, technically a boomer on the cusp. I'm 65, and apparently 65 is the beginning of Gen X, so I am not a boomer. I am post-boomer by a year, Winston, or Ted. I thought you were Winston. Ted, you boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. You boomers screwed up our lives. It's all your fault, Ted. We should be having cheeseburger and margaritas tonight. We should. Maybe you know what we should do. So if you're in the AI salon and you're in the irregulars channel, we should come up with themes for the night for like food and drink. So that's just geeky, but all right, whatever. 1962, I win. Loving tonight. Thank you, Bubbles. Welcome. Good to have you here. And major gift fundraising. What type of job are you applying for? Talking to one another. I love that. I love that you're supporting one another in here. URRT. I'm real time. Lonnie, trying to get into tech. I'm a substitute teacher now. So here's the deal, Lonnie. It depends what you want to do. If you want to get into tech, if you want to be an engineer, what I would say is learn to be an engineer, an AI literate engineer. So start learning things like GitHub Copilot and pair programming with AI. If you just want to get into tech, like you want to get into more technical stuff, you want to learn this generative AI stuff, you don't necessarily need to get into tech, right? The large language models, the large language models like ChatGPT and Claude and Bard and the image generation tools like Midjourney and Adobe Firefly and things like that, There you're doing incredibly sophisticated technical things using the English language. Or in Togasa's case, French. It can be any language. It doesn't matter. You're using your native language to program. So these things are quite remarkable. So you can do incredibly technical things without getting into tech, right? Getting into tech kind of implies you're going to learn programming and you're going to learn IT and you're going to learn the technical components. It doesn't hurt to know those, but understand that we're moving to a future very, very quickly where tactical coding isn't going to be as required as it is right now. Now, understanding how to code and to think logically and understanding how that shit works, that's going to be a requirement for, decades to come. But the actual tactical execution of coding is likely going to be done by these tools. And then, so what does that mean? What's most important in a world where the repetitive, low-level tactical execution shit is handled? The most important skill is critical thinking, right? So if you're a substitute teacher and you're already, if you can handle fucking dealing with students, trying to game you, as you come into the system every time, depending, what grade you substituted at. We were brutal when I was in high school with our substitutes. Oh man, it was rough. So if you can handle that, you're already good at sort of processing multiple inputs. That's going to be the critical skill. So I would say get AI literate. Start to learn what are these good at, what are they not good at. Learn this prompts.chat thing. If you haven't really dug into how you interact and talk with these things, that's a good starting point. And then just start geeking out. Take what you know, what you're passionate about. My philosophy on this stuff right now is there's literally nothing you can do wrong as long as you're kind of learning how to do that thing through these, with the assistance of these. Because even if you're doing something like, I don't know, you're super into, tractor maintenance. And you start using these things to rewrite tractor maintenance instructions in some way. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to then go do some other project, and someone's going to present you with a problem, and you're going to go, oh, that's just like the tractor manual thing I did. Wait, hang on, I know how to do this. And you hop in, and you pop open one of these tools, and you go, prrrt, 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 and then you hand someone a solution that they thought was going to take a week, and you hand it to them in 20 minutes. And their minds will be fucking blown, and you'll get a good endorphin boost, and they'll be like, how did you do that? Well, let me tell you. Mike Rowe reached level 11. Leveling up in here is really important. It's just like Scientology. You want to reach the promised land, got to level up. Life is a competition. I'm a Gen Xer. We have winners. We have losers. Not everyone should get a participation certificate. Okay? They shouldn't. It's not how life works. We're not preparing the youth for how the fucking world works. I know they want to feel included. I know they want to feel warm and fuzzy inside. But guess what? They're going to get their ass handed to them when they show up and, Jimmy down in the sales department decides to wipe their ass with his ambition. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah? No? All right, fine. Play your cooperative games. Settlers of Catan. Do it. Everybody wins. You're right. Everybody wins. It's not a winner-take-all world. You're right. I'm wrong. Completely. You win. No, you don't win. We all win, but you're correct. All right, moving on. Oh, yeah, the Chipotle thing. Hi, Bubbles. Oh, you were here last night, Bubbles? Cool. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Just amazing to me what you could use as far as real estate or other things like that. Literally anything, any data source I popped into advanced data analysis. I rolled 3 different screenplays that I'd written into a single upload, and just started asking questions about the stories and characters across my screenplays. And it was just like instant, got it, did it right. It's like, fuck. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I hope this live screen is being recorded. Hey, Molly. So these are recorded. I have until September 21st, so I'm a little behind. Here's the deal. We do have a YouTube channel. So it's AI Learning Lab -TT. I have like through June, middle of June or end of June up there. And I don't have descriptions written for them. I'm very far behind. I got a whole little shame bucket about how I haven't. Anyway, and then September 21st, TikTok's going to stop storing these things for 90 days. So every 90 days, there's this rolling 90-day window where the old ones are just dropping off. So I'm okay for now. But it's going to go to 30 days in about 2 weeks. So I got to get my shit together and get this stuff up there. But yes, it is being recorded, and I will get it up to YouTube. But right now, not so much. All right. Or like I'm not keeping up to date. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. What are some good questions to ask Code Interpreter? See, here's my problem, and is I know bupkis about data analytics. I don't know anything about it. I'm not good at math. I don't know how to think in mathematical terms. What I would say is, don't start with the tool. Start with your business. So say, what are the challenges in my business, or what are the kinds of things that if I knew about my business could help me make decisions better? Something like that. And then say, what data might we have, even if it's malformed, not well organized, in a bunch of PDF files somewhere, that the information might be in there. And then I would say, okay, so let me figure out where that data is. Maybe it's all in PDF files, and you somehow can break that up and get it into a CSV file, or maybe the PDFs are consistently formatted enough that they have all the same sections, whatever it is. And then I throw that in a zip file and upload it to Code Interpreter and just start asking your business questions. Say, take a look at the data there. Here's what my business is about. Here's the kind of insights I'm looking for. Here's a pile of crap data, or good data, it doesn't matter. Here's some data. And then just ask it. Ask it to figure it out for you. Do you have enough information in this data to be able to answer my questions above? And because it wants to please you, it will probably figure out ways to at least give you some part of it. And then what you can do is you can say, what data do you need in addition to what I gave you that could actually help you give me answers to my questions? That's how I would do it, is because if you just start with, I've got this tool, Code Interpreter, and I've got a pile of data, what questions do I ask it? It's like, it's very similar to the kind of, I get this sort of white page syndrome, when you just stare at a piece of paper and you could write anything, and you're like, I don't know what to fucking write. I know what I could write. You're a terrible fucking writer. You're a terrible fucking writer. That syndrome? I get that with the ChatGPT box, because I'm like, okay, it can answer anything. Are you worthy enough to ask a question that is worthy of me answering it? Well, no, I don't know what to ask. So I find it really intimidating. But the minute I go to, here's my business, here's a problem I'm facing. Oh, I know what to ask ChatGPT. Then I go over there, then I know what to ask it, right? So I feel like Code Interpreter is very much the same thing, but because code interpreter is more technical and it's an area that I don't know, I find it even more intimidating. So that was cool. Last night, the person said, if I've got geodata, is there any tool that can take geodata and do some interesting analysis with it? I'm like, oh, yes, code interpreter can do that. So I always start with the problem. I just find it much less intimidating. Oh, yeah. From Thelonious. The USAF, the Air Force, pairs piloted jets with AI drones. Yep, that happened, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. That story came out. How fast it does it is ridiculous. Isn't it, Mike? GPT 3.5. It's funny. So when you go to ChatGPT, if you're new to this shit, the free version is GPT 3.5. And if you're like me, you always want the new and shiny. You're like, I want the new one. GPT-4 is the new one. It's better. Well, GPT-4 is better, but it's slow as fucking molasses. GPT 3.5 is just fucking wicked fast. And it's still good, right? So if you just need to knock out an outline, or you just need to like do a table comparing some concepts, or quickly knock out a marketing strategy framework or something like that, 3.5 is great because like you can just fucking plow through iteration after iteration after iteration. And then what you can do is use 3.5 to get the blocking and tackling done, and then take components of that over to GPT-4 and refine it, because GPT-4 is just better. But it's slow. It's slow. Well, relatively slow. It's still way faster than you are. It's like you're still going to go, even at its slowest, this is still pretty fucking insane that it does this. A data analyst who is available when you wake up with an idea to research at 4 a.m. Yep, that's exactly what these tools are. That's a thing. On your time, what you need in this moment. That's why I was saying to Pate the other night that I really hope as Google starts to... As Google moves toward monetization of their GPT tools, that they don't pollute them with the paid shit like they polluted search. Because search at this point, like the glaring uselessness of most search results is made way more apparent when you have a tool like ChatGPT or Claude or Bard that just fucking answers your question. Like yesterday or 2 days ago when my car broke down and I was having electrical problems, like it was a crisis, right? Like I had to figure out, what am I doing at work tomorrow? Do I need to get this car to the shop? You're in crisis, right? And ideally, you got a buddy that's a mechanic, but I don't, right? So I couldn't just call someone up and go, what the fuck do I do? So I got the roadside assistance. Well, roadside assistance guys are like, I got the battery charger, and my guy was advanced. He had like a fuse checker, so we could check fuses and we could charge the battery. But he didn't know anything, right? So I'm still on my own. And then when I was trying to use Google and I was trying to use YouTube and I was trying to use all these things that are like, here's all these links of things that could possibly be, everything was fucking littered with, buy your extended warranty for your Ford Flex and you're this and you're that. And I'm trying to dig. I'm like, I just want a fucking answer. And even when I went to Reddit, it was just like there was old shit and new shit. And I was asking about a Ford Flex, but why are they talking about Alfa Romeos? And it's just like, sometimes you just fucking need the answer. And so I went to Pi, this stupid fucking thing that talks to me. Like, you can have like a therapy conversation with it. I'm like, hey, do you know anything about electrical systems in cars? Of course I do. I know everything. I know all of the internet, so yes. Oh, here's my symptoms. Here's what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounds like you've got some things figured out there. Let me ask you a couple other questions. So Google better not fuck that up. Well, they can. But they're going to lose market share to people that just answer your questions. How are we doing time-wise? 10:15. Got a little bit Got like 15 minutes. You know how that goes. Chat ADD. Chat ADD at your service. How can I help you? I was in this channel. I think I learned a lot. It was a little chaotic. I don't know what I watched. How long you watch it for? Better part of 3 hours. Everything all right with you? You sure about your life choices? No, I'm not. I don't know what's happening anymore. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. All right. What window was to do's? AI. Wait. Oh, what window was to DOS? AI is to everything. Yep, exactly. And what the web was to the internet, ChatGPT is to machine learning and AI. Yep, exactly. So I have Coursera. Cool. Thank you very much. Middle school, private. Oh, you're the one that was a substitute teacher? Yeah, middle private school? Those kids must have been fucking brutal to you as a substitute teacher. Good Lord. Overprivileged little shits. They're probably smart, well educated. Their hedge fund daddy taught them how to be brutal to the plebes. Good Lord, that must have been awful. Yeah, you should learn this shit. You can have ChatGPT help you figure out how to get back to those little devils. I'm not special. Look at little Janie. Look at little Janie driving up in her Mercedes wagon. Oh, good Lord. It's unbelievably easy. It does it. Da-da-da-da. Next generation born with actual technology. Missed the difference before and after. Yeah, exactly. So all of this right here. By the way, irregulars, you're up to 51,000. It's remarkable what you're doing tonight. What was I going to say? Yeah, we're at an amazing time right now where we all right now don't know what AI is going to turn into. So right now we're living in a world without AI. We're just starting to be able to play with these toys, and they're like, I think this is pretty remarkable, isn't it? Anyone? Bob? Any AI? No. Okay, I'll be over here. I think this changes everything. Like, that's where we are right now. 3 years from now, we're gonna be like, remember when we weren't sure what this was gonna do to copywriting, or screenwriting, or your career here? It's like, yeah, we're in an amazing time. It's just like Scientology. When they ask how you did it, don't admit AI, be a secret cyborg. Yeah, so Ted's referring to this Ethan Mollick article called Discovering the Secret Cyborg, where basically a lot of people in business are becoming AI literate and dramatically improving their productivity, but not telling their companies about it. Listen, right now we can do that. As these tools get more and more integrated in what we do, businesses are just going to need to figure out how to do it, and they're going to expect their employees to do it. But for all of us that say, okay, I'm in, let's start exploring, when that time comes in your company where they're like, hey, I got to figure this shit out. Does anybody know anything? Oh, yeah, Kravruno does. She talks about it all the time. She doesn't shut up about AI. It's really annoying. Okay, can I talk to her right now? Yep, that's going to be good. Be that person. Don't be the person that's like, AI is stupid. AI is stupid. I like doing things the way I've always done them. I'm a turtle. If you're looking to make a complete career change and future proof, where's the best place to learn AI? Right now, like I said, there's no experts right now. Oh, good Lord, what the hell did I do to my hair? Jesus. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. I loves me some donuts. I rub them in my hair. That's how I get the lovely shape. It's a great question. Oh my God, I played Settlers of Catan, the tiny little people. Thank you for the beaver. I likes me a good beaver. Beaver's tasty. All right. Seriously though, complete career change. You want to future-proof it. The most phallic of the TikTok gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Every time I see it, it throws me for a loop. I'm like, oh, good Lord. I don't even see the ears. Well, I was on a safari. A very well endowed trunk. So I don't have a good answer for you about. So I don't think any of us can future-proof anything from anything. I think that the shifts in every single position are going to be fairly profound. I don't know on what time scale it's going to happen, but I think they're going to be fairly profound. The only thing I'm confident about is that people who are AI literate are going to have a distinct advantage over people who are not AI literate. So I wouldn't, this is for Dave Axelrod, I wouldn't put the expectation on yourself that you actually have to, like, there's not a class that's teaching you what you need to learn. There might be certificates out there. There might be things that are like, here's a prompt engineering course, and here's an AI ops course, and here's, like Rachel Woods here on TikTok. She's got a thing called the AI Exchange, and she's doing some really tactical, good work around AI ops and prompt engineering and things like that. I think those are all good skills to have. But anything that you learn in the next 3 months is going to be irrelevant and completely different to what you're going to need 6 months after that. So we're in a rolling series of innovations right now where all of these tools right now are just spit and duct tape. They're just, as I call them, janky pieces of shit. They're janky pieces of shit sitting on top of a remarkable infrastructure. So what they do is remarkable. But what skills you need to get the best out of them is going to change every 3 months for the next probably 2 or 3 years. So the most important thing you can do is take what you're good at, what you're passionate about, what you want to do, get clear about that first. Don't mistake AI tools for a strategy. This isn't the strategy. This is the tool. The strategy is what's the stuff that you're good at that you want to do more of. And then you can also figure out what's the stuff that you're good at that you want to do less of, right? Because we all have those. So take the stuff that you're good at that you want to do less of and figure out how AI can help you automate or make the stuff you don't enjoy faster, more automated. Just get the work done, blow it out. Get the work done, blow it out. Don't get precious about that shit. The stuff that you're good at that you want to do more of, or the stuff that you're not good at and you want to do more of, really dig into these tools and figure out, how can I get better at that stuff? How can these things amplify what I want to do, who I am, who I want to become? And just focus on it as this rolling learning exercise. And don't have expectations that there's a very clear destination, because there's not. Nobody knows what's coming. Nobody. Google is launching a thing called Gemini probably within a month that they're claiming is 5 times better than GPT-4. And it's multimodal. So it does pictures and images and sound and all that sort of bullshit. If that's true, in any semblance of the case, there will be a whole new set of skills required to deal with Gemini. And then good old Sam Altman and the wacky kids over at OpenAI are going to respond to that. Because Sam has said publicly, we're not training ChatGPT 5. Do you believe that? I don't. Of course they're fucking training GPT-5. This is an arms race. You think Microsoft's sitting back going, nah, let Google take the lead back? No. So this stuff's going to change and morph and So the biggest thing you can do is just get clear about what you want and just learn as much as you can. Just get into sponge mode, or as I call it, I'm in Swiffer mode. There's sponge mode where you're learning a lot. Swiffer mode is like you're trying to learn it all. The moon rose. Oh my God, I played Settlers of Catan. Bubbles came back. She likes us. Hey, Bubbles, she likes us. She really, really likes us. 10:05 in Denver. That was 20 minutes ago. Kyle, you're CEO. Delegate. I know, do need to delegate more. Alexa has a GPT feature. I'm adding it right now. Oh, cool. Oh, that's great. That'll be interesting. Yeah. I mean, honest to God, Apple, Siri needs a facelift. Siri needs a brain lift. Siri needs to not suck. Now, here's the good news about Apple. They have been spending the bulk of their research budget, which their annual research budget, this is fucking mind-blowing. Apple's annual research budget is $24.6 billion. It's more than the market cap of OpenAI. That's their research budget. They've spent the bulk of their research budget on generative AI. So Apple, when they come out, they're going to come out swinging. They're going to come out swinging. And everyone else is going to go like, oh, that's what you meant by generative AI. These were just jokes. These were just like sketches on a napkin from a restaurant. We were at a diner one night. We thought ChatGPT could be fun. We put it out. 100 million people used it. It was awesome. Anyway, that Apple stuff's really exciting, isn't it? What do we do? I hope they don't disappoint me. Apple's been disappointing me ever since Jobs died. It's just like, ugh. Could someone over there get maniacal about quality again? Throw a chair through a window in the spaceship, please? Anyone? Johnny Ives is like, yeah, I'm good. I'm out. The Vision Pro stuff was impressive. Can ChatGPT pick my fantasy team for this week? Absolutely. In fact, Code Interpreter, go get some NFL data. Go find the data, because I'm sure it's on Kaggle. If you don't know Kaggle, Kaggle.com has data sets. I'm sure there's NFL data in there for whatever you need it for. Pop it into Code Interpreter or Advanced Data Analytics in ChatGPT and start asking away. Tell it, you've got this many points. You know, you need a balanced team. You want to focus on yardage rather than running or whatever the hell it is. And yeah, have it start picking your team. I don't know enough about how that shit works to know how to tell you what to do, but yes, it can absolutely do that. Really, really good. All right, I'm going to do another few minutes here. ChatGPT helped me research my machine learning for molecular design. Very cool, molecule design. Yeah, Johnson Royalty, the DeepMind AlphaFold thing. Holy shit. 400,000 proteins like in 2 days or whatever it was. It's just like the breakthroughs. So here's the thing about this tech. This generative AI tech, the stuff that ChatGPT is made of, it's not just exciting to non-machine learning people. People that I know that have been in machine learning for a decade and have built systems using the current state of the art over the decade, they're now looking at what this generative AI stuff is doing and they're like, fuck. They're like a little bitter about it because it's so much better. And so a lot of the scientists are taking these technologies and going back to their data and making big advances. So the advances we're going to see in science and medicine and all that sort of shit over the next, 2 to 3 years is just going to be face meltingly powerful. It's Janky or Jackie. Gotta hop. Good night, irregulars. Good night, Ted. Yeah, I gotta hop too. I'm out of here. Share Bear, Silver Fox. Let's see. It's remarkable. I learned bash scripting code explanation. It's good at code explanation. Winston, I believe this is going to be a complete revolution, generating enormous wealth through the AI explosion. Yeah, the most recent McKinsey State of Tech 2023 predicts $4.4 trillion in new revenue because of AI. And then I've heard a couple of others that are north of that are in the teens, 15 or 16 trillion or 14 trillion, something like that. The McKinsey predictions from the mid 90s were way under. So they tend to be a little conservative. So 4.4 trillion as an economic impact is probably low. So yeah, it's going to be pretty remarkable. Anyway, listen, I got to go. I got to go to bed. Bye. It's Saturday night. You should go out dancing. Go, Saturday Night Fever. Put on your disco shoes. It's time. It's perfect. If you're in New York, what time is it there? 10:30. It's 12:30. This is the evening is just getting started. You go out to those hot clubs. You put on the spandex and you just go. And I know we're all too old for spandex, but just do it anyway. Just get out, go party. All right? Or go to bed. Peace, everybody. All right, let's do a little romper room. Say goodnight to everybody. Silver Fox, good night. Winston, thank you. Okay, Farmer, Tobias, Andrea, 444. Night, everybody. Let's see. Steve-O, peace out, brother. Vicky. My favorite, user 1673896085942. Great seeing you. Come back. Change your name. Dr. J, Emilio's wife. Peace out. Kevin, Share Bear, have a good one. Johnson Royalty, love the name, by the way. Kavruno, good night. Mike Rowe, this is not an exit. Sorry, this is not an exit. This is an exit. I'm out. JRC, peace, everybody. All right. Mike Rowe, thanks. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.